Oh, we're back. It's Monday night. The world is crazy out there, kids. It's crazy. But I just wanted a couple of things I wanted to say before I get my man Francesco Ricchi on because we got to talk about it. A lot of shit going down with my man, Mike Perry stuff going on. The middleweight division of BKFC, it's really heating up. But my man Ricci, I want to see my man in action. I want to see him fight for a title. So we're going to talk about it. First and foremost, though, I want to thank so many people left me so many nice comments yesterday. Thank you guys so much. Like, really touched me from the bottom of my heart. Like, seriously, very humble. Thank you so much. And I meant every word what I said. And then I saw, I'm not going to mention names, but some people lately I've been seeing have been making posts about being depressed and stuff like that. And that hits home for me. I've been through some tough times of my life. And I must tell you, you're stronger than you think. You could do it. Forge forward. Remove the negativity from your life. Write it all down. Write all the negative people in your life down. Write all the negative things that are going on in your life right now. And just figure out a way how to fix it. Get rid of these people. Get rid of the bad stuff that's in your life and replace it with good. You could do it. Find a good support system. Get to the gym. Whatever it is that you could do to alleviate that pain, do it. Don't take the easy road. It's gonna be a lot of work, but you will prevail in the end. So I got you. If you need somebody to talk to, I got you. But right now, it's time. I want to pull something up for you guys. All right. So I want to say a few months back, before Knuckle Mania, before Perry and Lane, Mike Perry actually went on the BKFC podcast. I'm going to bring this clip up because he mentioned Francesco Ricci's name and some personal stuff that happened. So I'm giving Francesco the opportunity now to talk about it, but I want to bring this clip up just to refresh your memory. And what's up, everybody in the chat? I'll get to you guys in a sec. So let me pull this up for you guys. Very important stuff. We got to talk about it. So, all right, here we go. All right, I'm going to share it now. I'm going to play it for you guys. And I'll pop my handsome face off.
Number one contender who I kind of want to fight because I got real beef and real life with him. He robbed me. He stole a lot of money from me, and he got me good, man. He stole a lot of money from me, and I don't know if he would show up if they offered him enough money to take the fight.
Who is it?
He would even show up.
Is it a name we would know, or is it just some guy that took money from
the number one contender?
Is that what he said?
Francisco Ricchi.
Oh, really?
Ooh,
I want to hear you say it. This is catching me off guard. I didn't know that.
This is news. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, Mike?
Well, Richie's a mechanic.
Okay.
And he fixed one of my cars once. He fixed my AMG. Did good work. Took him a little time, but he did it. And then I got this new car. It's a new classic car.
Nice.
And he sold me a dream, you know what I mean? He told me he's going to do this and that and this and that. He gave me back a car. After I paid him this money, he gave me back the car in pieces. The car is worth 1/4 of what it was worth when I gave it to him. Plus, I gave him money to do it. He didn't buy one part. He didn't do anything. I don't know if he was out here, took the money and was smoking crack or what he was doing. But if he would even take the fight, and he just always lying. I had other people on it. My managers were on him. Business managers were talking to him. And I was nothing but nice to the dude. I was nothing but kind to the guy. I thought, there was like a friendly thing there because I had worked with him in the past. We have worked, sparring, training, things like that. I've talked with him in the past, and he fixed one of my cars once. But then when I did this, and this was in January, and I waited 10 months before I even got the car back in pieces, destroyed, terrible.
He just handed it back to you in pieces. I mean, did he say anything to you? Did he tell you to come pick it up? Didn't see you? Like, what was the conversation?
But I mean, bro, the conversation was always what I wanted to hear, and it was never the truth. He told me so many times, he gave me so many dates that the car was going to be finished. I bought a plane ticket to go down. He canceled on me the day before. I lost my money on the plane ticket. So then I finally get the car towed back. And that was a whole hassle. Like, you know, it was a whole hassle to get down to Fort Lauderdale and get the car towed back. And like, you know, I'll probably be taking him to court. But, you know, if he want to fight me, I get paid. He'll get some money. I take some of his money to pay me back. And I'm going to take his life.
Oh, wow. Okay, so bare knuckle courtroom brawl. We're looking.
Wow.
Wow. Well, I didn't know that.
All right. So there we go. I'm going to bring Francesco on now. I got to get his side. So now that you guys are up to speed. Francesco.
What's up, my man?
All right, bro. So thank you, first of all, for coming on and taking the time out of your schedule to be here with me and talk about it. There's a lot that I want to get into with you, but you know, now that we have the video footage here, I want you to respond. You heard it. What's on your mind?
I actually have never heard the whole thing of all the shit that he fucking said. I heard like clips here and there. And when I was trying to watch the YouTube link, I kept getting blown up because it was during work hours. So I never watched the whole thing to hear all the bullshit he said. But to be honest with you, me and him had I don't know, man. Like from the very beginning, I had a sour taste in my mouth from Mike, but I always kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. Just always kind of like, you know, said, you know what, dude, this guy's been through a lot. He's always got people trying to prove themselves to him. So I'll start from day one on how I met Mike. So he comes into my gym. This is after he got arrested not arrested. I don't even know if he fucking got arrested or not, but after he punched that guy in the restaurant where he called him a fat piece of shit. And he came to our gym, and then we didn't really have like a lot of big bodies that day that were training. So it was me and a couple of my buddies, and it was wrestling day. So all of a sudden, for whatever reason, that day we were doing like 5 rounds instead of 6. When we normally do 6 live rounds at our gym. So all of a sudden, my buddy Justin goes, all right, guys, let's jog it up. You know, he's the wrestling coach at our gym at Freedom Fighters. So I go up to Perry, and I'm like, oh, you know, he's my weight class in the UFC. When I fight MMA, I fight at 170 pounds. So I kind of wanted to, you know, be able to move with the guy. You know, it was obviously an honor to be able to move with somebody that was in the UFC, somebody that's in my weight class, somebody that was at one point in time in the top 15 in the world.
100%.
Had a war with Luke. I've been following Mike Perry since he made it to the UFC anyways. So he's like, oh yeah, sure, let's go another round. And then as soon as me and him touch gloves, mind you, we're supposed to be wrestling with MMA gloves on, he just starts fucking chucking them. And I'm talking about like he starts swinging. So I look over at my boy. I'm just like, hey, it is what it is. You know me. I'm not gonna sit there and fucking be like, oh, what are you doing? I don't give a shit. You want to fight? We'll fight. So I started.
The name of the game?
Bro, he hit me with a knee to the face, and after that, I was all right, buddy. So I started putting hands on him, and all of a sudden now he wants to wrestle. And he's like sitting there grabbing me, and he decides to wrestle. But it was a really short round. It was a 2-minute round. He gave me respect after that. He goes, yo, you know, you got good setups or whatever. And I kind of like made a joke, like, you need somebody to help you out for Till. I got you. So then fast forward to the end of the week, because this was Monday, and then I see him at Yoel Romero's gym, which Romero's like a brother to me. And that was the reason why he came down, I guess. So I see him at Romero's gym. And then me and him trained there, and there it was just not even fair because we were boxing with the big gloves on. You know, Romero's coach kind of starts telling you, you know, spar with just hands, then feet, then everything. And I just beat his ass at will. We weren't going hard that time, not like the first time that we went together, but any time that he wanted to fucking sit there and, you know, like bite down on his mouthpiece and try to fucking come in, he would get caught by something. So then he called me, told me he had a car that he wrecked, a fucking AMG. That he fucked up pretty bad, brought it to my shop. Mind you, it was during COVID when all this shit was going on. So the majority of businesses were closed. The majority of suppliers were closed. So it was a pain in the ass getting parts. And he was kind of on my ass. Like, maybe it took me a month to fix his car. But I don't even remember. But let's just say for conversational purposes, it took me a month to fix his car. He was sitting there giving me shit, fucking accusing me of stealing his car, all this shit. And I'm just like, you know what, dude, just shut the fuck up, just get the car done, give it back to him, and then he'll be happy because he doesn't know me either, you know? Get his car done, do a great job on it, charge him a really good fucking price. I mean, compared to industry standard of like what insurance companies would pay or what somebody else would pay, I charge him a good price.
So the reason you charge them a good price is because you guys trained together. You met the guy, you didn't want to give him a good deal.
Yeah, I was a fan of the guy. You know, he like moved down here and shit. And also, I figured, you know, if you repost that I did a good job on his car, you know, maybe it will bring some exposure to my shop too. So
exactly,
I did a good job. And also, he was referred by a friend. Romero's the one that asked me if I could take care of this guy. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. So did a good job. He was happy as fuck with his car. I saw him after that. And then nothing, you know, he was cool. Like, he was decent or whatever. Like, I saw him at the gym, and then he still kind of seemed like a little bit distant. But I don't give a fuck. I don't care, man. You could treat me however the fuck you want, as long as it's respectful. You know, if you don't want to be friends, I'm not going to chase after somebody to be friends. Then all of a sudden he gets this Skyline, and then I'm not going to get into too many like minuscule details, just because he said that he's taking me to court. So I'm going to sit there and just wait to see, you know, the kind of shit that gets thrown my way. But just to give you the gist of what happened, he's saying that he fucking brought me a car that was worth so much money and yada, yada, yada. He brought me the car broken. I've got text messages that fucking the car wasn't running right. You know, it wouldn't go over 2,000 RPMs. Couldn't even really take it on the highway. So he brought me the car that was fucking broken. Told him the shit that was broken. And he wanted to pretty much create a new car. So what he was doing was coach building. When you're coach building a new car, he wanted to go wide body kit, this and that. It takes months, and also takes thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Not to sit here and like get into details, because I'm not going to, because like I said, this dickweed said that he's going to take me to court, so I'll just wait to fucking, you know, go back and forth to court. There's hundreds of hours that have been put into his car. He didn't pay me until fucking May. So for him to say that he paid me since January, no, January took me to car to fucking fix it. Me and him finally came up with a game plan, colors, this and that, in fucking May. When he comes to the shop to look at the car, and I finally kind of had it like, you know, decent shape on the car. I had the majority of the engine parts, you know, off, and I'm waiting for shit. Then he goes, oh, you know, like I'm not expecting a car until the end of the year, which realistically speaking, when you're doing a job that big, it does take months and months.
Sure.
Gave him a good price. All of a sudden, man, like out of the blue, I kind of get a demand letter from an attorney, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, I'm here trying to like take care of this guy. Like, I'm giving him a pretty good price. And this motherfucker is going to send me a letter like this. Like, bitch, text me. Like, and then the demand letter was fucking, like, I don't even want to say comical. I mean, it was just.
It was a Word document?
Fucking retarded. Like, he sent me a letter saying that he would sue me for damages and this and that. And then I was just kind of like, all right, motherfucker, you can suck a dick. So Abe Kawa, his fucking manager, reaches out to me asking me to fucking get the car finished in like a month. He goes, listen, dude, like, don't worry. Perry ended up coming to my shop when I wasn't even in town. He came with his business manager, like, trying to get the car. He fucking called the cops, like, just made a big deal. And I'm like, listen, motherfucker, it's not like I'm keeping your car from you, dickweed. Like, you can take your shit back if you want. But I wasn't even in fucking town when he called the cops, and he came down to my shop to like fucking look at the car. He called my landlord. My landlord called me saying, hey, listen, you know, there's this person saying that you have a bunch of stolen vehicles inside your shop. And I'm like, yo, hold on, man. Whoa. Anybody that knows me knows I work 100 hours a week. Even the fucking week of the fight with Boswick, I was inside my shop for 70 hours. So it's like,
and that's messing with your business too, bro. You know, that's a big accusation.
I've been in business for fucking 4 years, dude. And I've been in business for 4 years doing a lot of work for a lot of fucking people. Like, a lot of people I've fucking been working for, including this shithead. So it's like, he already had experience with me, but I just kind of got to the point where I was like, you know what, dude? Like, nobody snaps their fingers at me. You either come pick your shit up like this the way it is, or you shut the fuck up and wait for me to call you and tell you that it's finished. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're not bringing me a car to do brakes. You're not bringing me a car to fucking replace the motor that's been blown. You're not bringing me a car to do head gaskets. You're bringing me something. You're trying to fucking design something brand new. Wider axles, this and that. It's not as simple to fucking sit there and put a wide body kit on a car. If you want some shitty eBay kit, even those fucking kits are like $6,000, and you see the screws from the outside, the wheels are all tucked inside the fender wells. It looks like shit. I come from a shop where we were building cars for Pebble Beach, for Amelia Island, for like Concours of Elegance, cars that went for millions of dollars. Like,
wow.
My attention to detail is a little bit different than these fucking retarded mechanics that go around, you know, and fucking watch videos on YouTube and say that they know how to do shit. So, long story short, when I was finally just like, you know what, dude, like, pick up your shit and get it out, you know, like, just cut my losses and call it quits. Me and him came up with a business deal, like, hey, listen, I'm going to give you X amount of money back for work that wasn't done to the car. This much money was done for work on the car. And we had a fucking deal to sell a fight between me and him. And the main part of that deal was, considering the fact that Mike Perry has a shit ton of followers, and I don't, he's got a big platform, is no slander, defamation. You know, whatever the fuck happens, happens. But if you want to sit there and you want to shake on this, cool, be my guest. Now I was going around telling people that I fucked him over and I smoked crack. It's like, Mike, you can't even form a fucking sentence. I'd be surprised if you get to spell your own fucking name on paper. Now you're saying I'm the one that smokes crack. Dude, I don't even do cocaine. I've never fucking smoked weed in my life. Like, for you to say, I haven't drank alcohol since fucking October, except for like a beer here and there. Legitimately.
Wow.
Like, I can count the amount of beers I've drank since fucking October on 2 hands. You know? So for him to say that I'm a fucking crackhead and I wouldn't take the fight, I literally called Dave, Nate, fucking Dave's housekeeper trying to make this fucking fight. And I even told him, I'm like, dude, don't pay me show money. Don't even pay me win money. Only pay me if I knock this dumb fuck out. Because at this point, I was just kind of like, you know what, dude, I don't want to say hit below the belt, but I was a little bit pissed off. Like, didn't me and Pete Zachary, your business manager, have a deal? Why all of a sudden are you going on the fucking podcast and saying that I don't want to fight you and I this and I that? I gave this fucker some money back. You know, me and him had a fucking deal, and all of a sudden he's the one that broke it. But at the same time, people that live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I mean, I know a lot of fucking personal shit about Mike Perry. I actually know personally. So the girl he used to date, Danielle Nickerson, or the girl that he married, actually, her best friend is married to one of my best friends since we grew up. And from 2015, 2016, they were sitting there telling me, you know, asking me questions about Mike because they were kind of like worried about this girl. And I didn't fucking know him back then, nor, you know, would I even be able to fucking sit there and tell them if I think he's a good guy or not, because I don't give a shit. That's his business, not mine. But I do know some personal foul shit. So he's going to sit there and fucking tell me that I stole money from him and I did this and I did that. Didn't this asswipe train a fucking MMA masters for like 4 or 5 months and didn't pay any of the fucking coaches?
Oh, wow.
This guy trained to Romero for fucking months and even had a fight there. Never fucking paid Romero a fucking dime. So they're sitting there calling me a fucking scumbag because of what? The only reason why Mike Perry called me out and actually drew a sack to fucking call me out and say that I didn't want to fight him is because he fought some guy that was my same build, you know, a boxer and a similar rule set as bare knuckle for the triad combat, and he got a little bit of hair on his balls and decided to say, you know what, man, I could beat Frank. Or Abe maybe like puffed up his chest and told him that he could beat me in a fight. But you know what, Mike Perry? You're right. They're right. You could beat me in a fight. Just please, for the love of God, sign that contract.
Hell yeah.
I take my fucking face off and I smile while I'm doing it. Then people will fucking realize.
Well, I want to ask you something. So I just want to backtrack just a little bit. When you said that you approached Dave and Nate about getting that fight, what was the response from them? Because I know was that before they were trying to build the Julian Lane fight and that brawl went down?
Yeah. That was before. So there was and mind you, like bare knuckle, I think I have a really good relationship with them. They've always taken care of me. I've almost died for them. So, I mean, I appreciate it. But at the same time, like Dave, he's always been there for me. Whenever I was like struggling with shit, you know, the cancer, whatever the case may be, he's always texted me, made sure that I was fine. So I've got a lot of love for them. But when my fighter pulled out, when me and you had that interview in November, you know, the card in November, BKFC 22, which by the way, shithead Joseph Perry fucking texted me telling me good luck for that fight. So this was after he already picked up the card, but whatever. Let's just, you know, not even go there. I kind of felt cheated because I showed up to the venue without even knowing that I fucking had a fight. They just told me, listen, Frank, we can't afford for you to be distracted, you know, like we can't afford you to not be focused. Just show up here tomorrow knowing that you're going to fight. So I was waiting for this guy, Enoch Aldenai. There was that other guy, Crowder, fucking Ryan, Baby Dick Jones, the fucking molester. And then I don't even remember how many other fucking people accepted the fight. Brad Kelly, unfortunately, had some shit happen to his eyes. Which I know is true. I mean, his coach fucking talked to me. But long story short, I accepted a fight against everybody. I even told him, I'm like, listen, you know, and I don't like talking. I mean, you know me. I've never really like talked shit or tried to like maybe throw dirt on anybody's name. But I told Nate, I'm like, listen, dude, if you can get somebody to take a fight, everybody wants to get on BKFC. So find me somebody that'll fucking take the fight between 175 to 205. I couldn't give a shit. That's how much I was weighing. You know, like the fight day, I weigh around 202 pounds, 203 pounds on a good day if I have a good training camp. So find me somebody all the way up to 205. I don't give a shit. Nobody showed up. So I kind of felt cheated. We had a disagreement going on between like, you know, me and BKFC because it wasn't, let me rephrase, it wasn't a disagreement. I was just a little bit upset. You know, they told me that they would call me the next day. I never got anything. They told me they would call me that week. I never heard shit. Now, from a business side of things, I understand how it works. You know, they just got done with an event. They're sitting there gearing up for the next event. But at the same time, dude, my dad was fucking running around frantically trying to close down my business, you know, and he was being told from doctors that I wouldn't wake up. This is after I fought Noah Cutter. So
that's wild.
My family's went through a fair share of stress because of all the shit that I've gotten put through in bare knuckle. My fault, you know, I got hit, you know, I made the mistake of getting caught when I got caught, but at the same time, like I've always fought my ass off, like from day one. I've always sold a fuck ton of tickets and I've always been a company man. I've never said no. I mean, you could ask Nate, I've never ever fucking turned down a fight. So I thought we were all on board with the Mike Perry thing. I spoke to Dave Cranston. I spoke to Nate. I love talking to both of those guys. Sometimes they're a little bit too busy to pick up the phone, but whenever we do talk, it's a great conversation. And from both of them, I heard that I was going to be the next in line to fight. But obviously the final decision comes up to Nate or to Dave. Whatever happened between, you know, Julian Lane and the Mike Perry thing, at the end of the day, the choice was obviously up to Dave Feldman. So I get told that he chose to fight Julian Lane. And in my eyes, I'm like, listen, I can say whatever I want about Perry, but I can't really call him a bitch. I can't necessarily say that he would choose to fight somebody else when he's got fucking beef with me and he called me out. But whatever. I don't want to say I don't want to believe it or I thought that they were lying to me, but I was pretty devastated, man. I was pretty pissed off because I really wanted that fight. You know, I felt kind of cheated that they allowed him on the BKFC podcast and let him talk shit. And then all of a sudden, you know, everybody's sitting there fucking looking at me. And I'm like, all right, well, I said yes to the fight. I've always said yes to the fight. I begged for the fucking fight. I even told them to, like, not even pay me show money to like, take the fight to make it appealing. So then all of a sudden at the fucking press conference, this dickweed says that he chose to fight Lane. He says, I chose you. They gave me this guy, and this guy, and I chose to fight you. Okay, well, now it makes sense. So we were on board for me to fight Perry, and then what happened. But to be honest with you, it is what it is, you know. I'm here now, and I fought on that same event. I'm still undefeated. And to be very honest with you, I would have kept my mouth shut about everything that happened with Perry, because at the end of the day, I could see where he feels like he's fucking, you know, pissed off and whatever. He wanted a fucking card. He didn't get the flying card. You know, he's a rich kid. You know, he really is a privileged kid. So I understand that him being told no is going to fucking make him cry every once in a while. I get it. But I was going to keep my mouth shut. But then after the fucking fight, he's around running his fucking mouth too. So I was like, all right, cool. When I do my backstage interview, I'm not going to hold back. And then when the rankings come out, all of a sudden he says that he wants to fight me. And that's when I'm just like, all right, man, you know what? Maybe that fight's on the table again. So,
it has to be on the table. So, you know, piggybacking off of what you're saying, first and foremost, yes, you're undefeated. You're 4-0. A dedicated BKFC fighter in the middleweight division. You've proven yourself time and time again. I think it's time that you have that big fight. You know, you've had some great. Your last fight with Bostwick was fucking awesome. I love that fight. And all your fights are exciting. You're a true warrior, and you know how much respect I have for you. But I think that, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in this division. There's a lot of stuff with BKFC that, you know, when I talk to like diehard fans, that they get pissed off when they see the rankings or they see, you know, this guy's getting this fight, that fight, you know. So we're going to put all that on the side, and we're just going to talk facts right now. So Perry has a great fight with Lane. Knucklemania was awesome. Everybody liked it. Great fight. Now I hear little chitter chatter about Mike Perry getting a title shot against Thiago Alves. That now nothing's written in stone. BKFC didn't say anything about it, but these are the things that I hear. You know, so when you hear stuff like that coming from a guy that's, you know, 4-0 in the division, you're feeling like you're next in line. Even Perry said you were the number one contender. How does that make you feel when you hear something like that?
Being honest with you, Joe, not mad. The reason why I'm not mad is because I thought that they were going to make that fight from day one. They were supposed to make that fight in the UFC. They made that fight. They booked that fight numerous fucking times, and always, you know, somebody pulled out, something happened. The fight was cursed. When Perry came to BKFC, I'm surprised that they didn't give him a title shot right away. Now, people can sit there and complain, oh, he doesn't deserve to fight for the title. I don't like the guy. He does deserve to fight for the title. Has he done enough in BKFC to, like, jump over some people? Nope. But he's done enough outside of BKFC to jump over some people. And what I mean by that is this. Why does everybody want to get inside BKFC? They pay well.
They pay.
I like my fucking paychecks, you know? I mean, matter of fact, you know, for future purposes, I don't like my paychecks. I need to be getting paid more. But what I'm trying to say is everybody wants to fucking get in BKFC because they pay well. Ben Rothwell just got signed. He gets fucking paid more. Chad Mendes, everybody's happy with the fucking checks that Bare Knuckle brings, right? The reason why that is because they make money moves, you know? Right now, it's a very fresh sport. It's been around for 4 years, 5 years. Or no, not even 5 years. Sorry, 4 years, less than 4 years.
Yep. Was it 2017? 2018. 2018.
Yep. So, long story short, the rankings are still coming out, man. Like now, you've got fighters that are 4-0, 5-0. If you tell me that there's a fucking boxer that's 4-0, 5-0, to me that's not shit. There's a lot of boxers that are out there that are 4-0, 5-0. I mean, a good boxer is a good boxer, but what I'm saying is records don't speak for themselves. Mm-hmm. In BKFC, a record that's 4-0, 5-0, 3-0 is already a good fucking record. You know, you're already in the rankings at 3-0. So it's a new fucking sport. So what I mean to say is nobody's going to be that fucking mad if you bring a veteran that's got as many eyes on him as Mike Perry and you let him fight for the title. This shit happens all the time.
It goes both ways, bro. You're always going to get two sides of that. You know, you're always going to get, you know, he did a lot. in MMA, and let's give him a title shot right away. And him and Alves is a very appealing fight. I believe they were supposed to fight UFC. The fight never happened, so they could do it for a title and bare knuckle. I totally get it, but now the table has set differently, right? So they had a number one contender fight with Dave Rickles and Mike Richmond. Richmond's a beast. The guy is just doing his thing. You know, and that was the other thing I wanted to ask you too. So you kind of answered it already, but when you said you don't care, but when you first heard Rickles and Richmond were going to fight for a number one contender spot, and you're sitting 4-0, I mean, there's got to be something going on in your head, like, oh, come on, really, like, you know.
Well, so here was the original deal. The original deal was I had to fight, you know, the fucking child molester Ryan Jones, and I didn't want to fight that guy because
that shit was crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not even trying to throw more dirt on his name, but I didn't like the guy to begin with, so I feel like I get a green light. But what I was trying to say is I spoke to Nate after the Maxwell fight, and I was trying to get a big fight, you know. I mean, I came back, obviously, like after the coma, after this, after that, so I fought Maxwell. So I wanted a big fight coming back. So Ryan Jones gets on the comments on one of the Instagram posts that have the rankings, and he's saying that because me and Keemon Evans are going back and forth, you know, and Keemon's like, yo, you know, like, don't back out of the fight. And I'm telling him, I'm like, listen, bro, I've never fucking said no to a fight. Respect you, but, like, all I need is just a fucking contract with your name on it. I'll sign. Like, I've never fucking been one to turn down fights. Definitely not going to start with you. So all of a sudden, Ryan Jones comments, and he starts talking shit to the both of us, saying, you know, like, I'm coming down to 175 to fight both of you, or whatever the fuck. I don't even know what the fuck he said. I can't read retard. But long story short, I didn't want to fight the guy because the thing is, you get to a point where people that nobody fucking knows, right? And I'm one of them. I mean, right now people know me just because I have a good run in BKFC, but it's not like I'm bringing, you know, a lot of fans over from another sport. You know, I was relatively new as a professional fighter before I came into BKFC. I just have a lot of local fans. Mm-hmm. But somebody that nobody fucking knows goes out there and he talks shit to Thiago Alves, or he talks shit to Lombard, going, oh, you're a pussy, you don't want to fight me. But if Lombard responds to that guy, now all of a sudden there's eyes. Now he's giving the guy the platform that it's just like, okay, wait, you know, there's something here. When in reality, that fucking guy was cooking tacos 2 nights ago. It's like, well, this fucking guy doesn't deserve to be inside the fucking ring with me. And it's the same exact way with this guy, Ryan Jones. It's not that I'm not saying that I'm a big household name, but I'm saying that Ryan Jones was sitting there talking shit to me. I didn't even entertain it or respond to the fucking guy because I'm like, dude, why? If I sit there and respond to him, BKFC is going to think that there's beef there. They're going to try to like sit there and promote this fight.
Exactly.
And I don't want that. I want to fight somebody else. Nate comes to me with his name on a paper and says, you're fighting Ryan Jones November 12th. And I responded to him. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, fucking Stevie Wonder could dodge punches better than this guy. Like, you know, give me somebody that like I can fight. So he's like, listen, Rickles and Richmond are fighting for at the time, I'm sorry, it was Rickles and Lane are fighting for the number one contender spot. Or I'm sorry, we have a tournament going on between Rickles, Lane, you, and Ryan Jones. The winner of these fights fight each other, and then whoever wins that is the number one contender.
How long ago was that?
That was before the fight in November. So that was, you know, I got the contract for that fight 3 weeks out. So that was October. You know, I was still in Italy actually when we were discussing and going over the fucking the opponents. So long story short, this was, you know, October-ish, before Richmond kind of like came into the picture, before he smoked Dakota Cochran. I mean, obviously he was already in the picture because he fucked up Stance, but this is before, you know, he dusted Cochran and obviously opened a shit ton more eyes. Mm. So I said yes. Obviously, that fight played out the way that it did. It never fucking happened. Dave beat Lane. So he was next to fight for Richmond. I was leaning more towards the Mike Perry direction. So I was sitting there gunning for that fight instead of sitting there trying to speak up, which regardless of the fact that it's something that I do, I don't stomp my feet on the ground and say I deserve anything. But when I was sitting there pushing for that fight, the last person that was there was Boswick. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll fight Boswick. Everybody kind of knew that was a fight. Not necessarily a number one contender fight or a title eliminator, but at the same time, that was a fight, obviously, that had high stakes in the middleweight division.
Absolutely.
After, you know, before that fight even happened, Richmond and Rickles ended up getting announced, and then that ended up being the title eliminator fight. So am I mad that Richmond ended up getting the number one contender fight? Not necessarily. I'm a little bit pissed off that they didn't offer me that fight, but at the same time, Richmond, I don't think was in camp or was, I think by that time it was already too late to offer him the fight at Knucklemania. And I sell out I sell out down here in South Florida. So
you got a ton of fans, man. I've seen it down here in Florida, bro.
So it just kind of like, you know, it played out the way that it did. But you know, now obviously Richmond's #1 contender, so we'll see what happens. But was I gonna be mad if they made the fight between Thiago and Perry? Fuck no, because I even told Nate when he called me originally to try to get me on the June 24th card, which you know, God willing, I'm gonna be on that card. He called me telling me that wasn't the plan, you know, and I don't want to sit here and, like, you know, disclose conversations, but when I told him, I'm like, listen, you know, who am I fighting? Because obviously I'm not fighting Perry, obviously I'm not fighting Wayne, Alves, so who am I fighting? So we were kind of like shooting shit back and forth, and I'm not going to tell you like the names that he gave me, but he did tell me that they weren't going to aim towards that direction of Alves and Perry. Now, what I heard from my own sources that are close to the management side of the champ, is that they were trying to make that fucking fight. So what do I think is going to happen? Who fucking knows? I just hope that if they do make that fight, they do something that makes sense for the 24th, man, because at this point, it's like they're pissing on me without calling it rain.
Well,
you know?
I got to tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, bro. So obviously Dave already said that Richmond's next in line for Alves. Could Alves get another fight before that? Yeah, anything could happen. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. I mean, although Alves hasn't fought in a while, he did hurt his hand. He's back.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. But the timing, I don't think could be any better because, you know, Alves, he had his fight. Richmond had his fight. It was actually Richmond's pretty clean. You know what I'm saying? So that guy could technically fight tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like he's good. So I think the next fight for Thiago is going to be Mike Richmond, and I think it only makes sense that you Mike Perry fight because Perry already. Listen, I'm going to map this out for everybody. Perry got the fight with Lane. Great fight. All right, but before that fight with Lane, he's already saying your name. You're already undefeated in the division. You've already built a name in the division. You guys already got some real-life beef that's going on. You're both in the same weight class. It only makes sense. Perry's only got one fight under his belt. I think that it only makes sense that you put Perry in there with a guy that he's got beef with that's 4-0, that technically is an absolute #1 contender. Whether you want to say that or not, it's the truth. So I think it's got to be Ricci and Perry is the next fight to make happen. It makes perfect sense. I mean, anybody that disagrees with that, I'm sorry, you have no common sense or you do not follow the sport. Period. End of story.
I could not agree more. And to make it interesting, you know, in case Perry needs some kind of motivation to fight me, why don't we put up, you know, my purse? If I lose, I'll give you my purse. How's that?
Wow.
You know, whatever you want, dude. Like, Princess, whatever the fuck you want to make this fight happen, just please tell me. Please. I'll make this fight happen. I'll help you out the best way that I can. I'm not saying that I'll fight with a hand behind my back, but whatever the fuck I need to do to make this fight happen, I need this fight to happen. Because now, you know, he's talked a lot of shit. Nobody ever gave him shit for not accepting the fight when he accused me of not accepting the fucking fight. But apart from the fact that he's got a pretty fucked up ass, twisted ass, you know, let me not throw too much dirt on his name, but
Okay.
I just want to say, you know, like, don't fucking shoot a gun in an airplane because you might be going down just the fucking same. And I feel like that's exactly what the fuck he did. Mind you, I've never fucking put my hands on a woman. I wasn't the one whose fucking mom called the cops when my fucking wife was hiding at her house. So it's like, you want to sit there and call me a fucking scumbag? Why don't you look in the fucking mirror? But tell you the only thing that fucking matters is that if me and him are in that ring and I take his fucking jaw off or he takes mine off and I look like an absolute mongrel for fucking saying this shit right now, the only fucking thing that matters is whoever raises their fucking hand. Because you could be wrong, you could be right, but at the end of the day, when I beat your ass, people are going to listen to me. When you beat my ass, people are going to listen to you. So let's make it interesting. You know, if you need some kind of enticement, you know, whatever the fuck it is, if you need somebody to try to feed you something on a silver spoon, whatever the fuck you need, buddy, you know, I'll put up my purse. I'm pretty sure you talk to Feldman. I'm pretty sure you can market it that way too.
Absolutely. And for the people that are in the chat that are watching, I know some people are excited about that already. But what do you guys think? Like, my man Ricci's already saying he'll put his whole purse on the line for this fight. Drop it in the comments. Do you want to see this fight happen? I think this fight should be a main event on a card. Hands down. This is a main event fight. My man Francesco Ricci earned that main event, I think. It's time. And Perry's a main event guy. This is it. The table is set, baby. We got to make this happen. So I'm channeling it right now to the bare knuckle gods out there. John Sullivan's doing a shot. He likes it. Come on now. We got to make it happen.
I would love nothing more. And speaking honestly, I like Perry as a fighter. I don't like him as a person. I think he's a fucking dickweed, as I've already expressed multiple times. But as a fighter, I like the guy. He gets cracked in his shit and he keeps walking forward. You know, that I've always had respect for.
He's a beast.
I can talk a lot of shit about a lot of people. Everybody has something to say about somebody, right? I don't, because you have to respect somebody that walks in there. Of course, dude, I hate the people running around calling everybody pussies. You know, like, I can't leave that to the fans, dude. Let the fans sit in the stands and call somebody a pussy for not engaging. But as a fighter, I can't.
But don't call Yuli Diaz that. He'll come to your house and crack you.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
you got to be careful what you say out there. And I love Yuli. He's a buddy of mine, but you got to be careful what you say. I keep my mouth shut, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm old school. I don't say shit.
And you know what? Call it what you want, bro. But I'm happy that shit happened. I feel like, look, dude, from where I'm from, I came here in 2001. But when I was in Italy, I remember that the teachers wouldn't give a shit. If you want to sit there and squabble, they'll let you they'll let you do what you need to do. If you want to, like, take care of business, take care of business. Here, it's like, dude, I remember my mom, she beat the fuck out of me when I was a kid. But anytime that she did it in public, somebody would come up and be like, hey, listen, you can't do that here. Like, be careful. So she was smart. She took the fucking behind closed doors approach. But
did you get the wooden spoon?
Fuck no, man. I got the hands.
Oh,
why do you think I got the punches, baby? No, man. She I feel like too many people run around and talk shit. But all bullshit aside, dude, I'm not gonna sit there and call anybody a pussy or call anybody a bitch, except Mike Perry. But I do respect him as a fighter, man. He, like, gets hit, he walks forward no matter what. I mean, dude, he had his nose broken. And it's like, sure, I don't want to say I'm cut from the same cloth because I'm not nearly as retarded as Mike Perry is, but I don't back down when I get hurt either. It feels like the more I get hit in a fight, the more I want to return fire. I mean, I couldn't see in that Noah Cutter fight. And when I finally got back to the corner and I kind of got my senses back, like, I was able to start going to work. I broke my hand in the fucking Maxwell fight. It was the first punch. The first punch actually broke it, and the second punch displaced it. And I still dropped him another 2-3 times with the same hand. So I'm definitely not going to back down. I know Perry's not going to fucking back down. So the fans are in for a good fight, bro. And if you don't know who I am, man, tune the fuck in because you'll know after this fight. Fucking
right, baby. I'll fucking announce that shit, man. Like, I'll fucking be there front row all day, every day. If it's Easter Sunday, I make the sign of the cross. I sit front row. I watch that fight. That's a fight you don't want to miss. So this has got to happen. I know my buddies at BKFC will be watching this. So, guys, let's make it happen. Perry said he wants to fight you. You saying you want to fight Perry. The timing couldn't be better. The stars are aligned. I say let's get it done.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, brother. So any closing words for you? Anything you want to get off your chest that you haven't yet? Please do, my brother.
I got the best gym in the world, best training partners in the world, and if I lose, it's only my fault. And I feel like a lot of the times, my coaches, my corners, my teammates, I don't feel like they get enough credit for what they do. My gym's bred world champions, multiple world champions, Alex Caceres, Yoel Romero, and I just feel like a lot of the times, and I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying that it's the athlete's fault, but I feel like a lot of the times they're left in the dark. So I love my coaches at Delray Boxing. I love my coaches at Freedom Fighters down in Kendall. So, let's make this fight happen. Let's really, let's really show the people what bare knuckles about. Because this fight's going to be fucking bloody. That I promise you.
It's going to be a war, man. So, to my people in the chat, everybody watching, let's get the word out. Perry, Ricchi, let's do this shit. I want to see it.
Joe, thank you, my brother.
Always a pleasure. I'm glad we got to catch up the other day at the fights, and we got to talk, and I'm glad you came on, and we could do this, man. So I'm wishing you the best of luck. You need anything, you holler at me, bro, and we'll see what we could do, man. But already the chat's lighting up. There it is again. Ricchi Perry, let's fucking go, baby.
Let's do it, baby.
Let's do it. Thank you again, my brother. I appreciate you.
You got it, my brother.
Peace. There you have it, folks. Ricchi, oh my God, and Mike Perry. What do you think? I'm saying yeah. I'm saying I want this fight to happen immediately. So, in closing, thank you guys for joining. You guys are awesome. much love, much respect to you. You know, I try to keep it clean. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too crazy all the time. I know it's like some people out there like to curse a lot, and they like to smoke dope while they do their little podcasts and stuff. Not technically my style, but what I do behind closed doors, my business, old school Italian style, baby. But thank you guys again for joining. Let's do it. Knuckle up, Total Line. Also check out my people at BYB Extreme, the mighty Trigon. I love that promotion as well. I got some cool podcasts coming up with fighters on that roster as well. So much respect to those guys over there. Hit me up if you want to interview. I do have a big wait list, not being any kind of way, but I do. So bear with me. I'm trying. I got multiple jobs. I go to school. I'm very busy all the time. That's the kind of lifestyle that I like. But I promise you, I will get to you. I will. And if you're mad about it, I'm sorry. But I promise I got you. Much respect to all those fighters out there, because you guys and girls have a lot of respect for you. Fighters, you know, I know a lot of people talk shit on social media, but just remember, when you're talking shit to a fighter, this particular person behind closed doors is sacrificing so much of their life, their time, their bodies, their mental state of mind. There's so much sacrifice going on behind the scenes that none of us know about, right? So try to be a little more respectful. I'm just saying. That's all I got. So thank you guys. Monday night. Got the whole week ahead of us. Enjoy. Tomorrow's Taco Tuesday, so you know what that means. Tacos, tequila, and ass wipes. Sayonara. Peace. Or adios, I should say.